Frustration away from the fact that we've conceded goals late on that have cost us points is the other part of it, Tomo, that you could see that this version of Manchester City have vulnerabilities in a way that some of the other ones who've come in recent campaigns maybe didn't have, and there was an opportunity, especially second half when the pace got up and the tempo was up, to have won the game.
Well, that was it, because we were all enjoying it a lot more. We had a lot more possession, a lot more there was more like us, and we were taking the game to them, and we were all in the right positions, right times, and doing things. Again, coming back to, we could have made more of that final ball when we got there, whether going to the right or going to the left. Has it got the right pace on there? There's those things to it. We've done enough. Man City are not the Man City that we've said. They're still very good at keeping possession and all that, but they've become vulnerable. And although it took a worldie from Dominik to sort of do that, we did have other chances to sort of make up. And they were mainly in the second half. And that's the disappointing thing, is we've not got over the line again and got something out of a game.
Small details make a difference. I mean, you might think it's a simple 5-yard pass to like the right-hand side or the left-hand side. If you go to the left-hand side and it's the wrong side, then obviously the right pass was to the right-hand side. It's only a 5-yard pass. But you've got to make that decision in a split second to make the right pass. And the more often like you make the right pass, obviously the better like the outcome is. And I totally agree with Tom. I think there was times when we didn't do that. And if you don't do that on a regular basis, then you don't create the pressure, you don't create the opportunities, you don't create like the goal scoring opportunities that your play and your build-up play deserve. And as I say, if you don't do that, then ultimately you leave yourself open to counter-attacks and getting punished.
Like it was like the Bournemouth game, for the first half, people, we got beat. But at that first half, we had so many opportunities. We didn't have a shot on target until the 33rd minute. But we dominated possession, but it was that final pass in those certain areas, in and around the box, we were trying to walk it in. We didn't even have a shot. And you're going like that, where's this going? So it's game management, and making sure it is more often than not the right choice at the right time.
And I suppose that point is underlined by the fact, like with the Arsenal game here, it took a wonder strike for us to eventually break the dog. Well, for all that play, for all that positivity in the second half, it took something like that again to get the goal.
Well, it was, because you'd expected something like that in the first half, which was quite, by Liverpool Man City standards, very, very poor. You'd expect something like that, but with 15 minutes to go and scoring that, it would have given us that opportunity to control the rest of the game. And we used to be able to do it. I don't know why it is at this moment that we let things drift away from us. Maybe it's nervousness with new players being in the side, but we're certainly not seeing out games.
Do you think the manager will look at it, guys? Look, again, that middle bit is quite good. We're getting the ball into the right places. We're having these opportunities where it's 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 or whatever it is, and it's that one pass that's letting us down. Or will there be a growing frustration in him that it's going to move East in a few times this season?
Well, I think there'll definitely be frustration. I think that's a good analogy, to be fair. It's a movie that we've seen over and over and over. It's weird, isn't it? Like the shot from Wirtz in the second half, where, on another day he could have put his foot through it and like really hit it with a little bit of pace. He doesn't, and then it takes a deflection. I think it went out for a corner. The same effort midweek, was it against Karabag or was it against Newcastle? I can't remember. More or less exactly the same shot, just places it into the bottom corner, but it goes into the bottom corner, and you think, well, should he hit that? Should he have struck it with a little bit more pace or not? Well, he scored before with just placing it into the bottom corner. Yeah. Why don't you try it again? And on this occasion, it gets blocked. And again, we say often enough, it is small margins, and they can make the difference to whether you draw games, lose games, or win games.
We should probably drill down into the big moments, the goals, and the goal that was, then wasn't, and then was a red card. We go ahead. Dominik does what he did against Arsenal, what he did in a different way away in Marseille. I think most people would say he's been our player of the season up until this point, and that was another huge contribution with him. And boy, can that boy hit a football.
Honestly, well, we were fortunate where we were because we had the boxes behind us, so I could see it straight away after he did it. Go, have a look at it. Oh my goodness! It like literally goes straight towards Donnarumma, and then veers away at probably 10 or 15 yards just before him, and just moves like that so much. It was incredible. So it was a great strike. It's the technique now of the modern players, how they hit through these balls. But it was an absolutely stunning goal because, what is it about? Is it 30, 35 yards from goal? And you go, it's probably maybe a little bit too far. Not for Dominik.
32 yards out he was today.
Thanks
so
very much. Thanks for correcting me.
Just to make sure we were on there. Yeah, we've got standards there. Got to get these things exact. But no, another fabulous strike and a great contribution for him. We're in a good position, and then this sort of late show from City. The equalising goal. It's one of those. We thought there was an argument for offside. He wasn't offside. Bernardo Silva reacts really well. Does need to be able to get in and just do enough to knock it past the goalkeeper.
Well, I mean, we were sat up in the stand watching it, and we actually hinted on it in the build-up to the programme. Manchester City, when they get in wide areas, are so reluctant to put the ball in the box. One time they put the ball in the box, caused Liverpool all sorts of problems. Haaland gets up, wins the header, gets the little flick on, and they get a goal. I thought he looked offside, but I mean, obviously he wasn't because there was no complaining. And you just think, well, why don't you do that more often, Manchester City? Why don't you utilise your 6'5" centre forward like the Norse god? And you think, why don't you do it? But they are so reluctant to put the ball into the box. But that got them back on level terms, obviously, and then they kind of stamped their authority on the game. And then that's when I thought we got a little bit edgy and a little bit nervous and kind of defended a little bit deep. And a little bit just too simply by kicking balls up the pitch where we weren't really getting any joy from them.
And that probably got underlined by then what happened around the penalty in a position where the Man City player is allowed to get into that area, but then Alisson is also maybe not thinking clearly, makes a challenge he doesn't have to do. Yeah,
absolutely doesn't have to do. I've been trying to think since that a game that we had, and we should have had a penalty, but we kicked it and it went out of play. We had a similar one with Leeds United with Nonto and they've kicked the ball out of play. Now we had one and it was, and I can remember watching on the Monday morning, and they've gone, not getting the ball. He's toe-ended it and he's not getting the ball. That is the ultimate. That is the first thing that the VAR will look at. Will he regain possession? It's a big indicator. To me, he was never getting that ball. Nonto was never getting that ball when Ibu tackled him. But they deemed it a penalty. And I can't think of the game, but we didn't get one. And I thought, it's harsh. That's why I was looking at it. Yes, Ali makes contact with him, so you're going, this is going to be a penalty. Unless they deem it, he was never getting to the ball. He's just toe-ended it out of play.
And once the penalty is awarded, it's almost certain that Haaland was going to put it away, and he went on to do so. And then we get this... Well, we've used the word chaos a few times already, but it was an absolutely chaotic finale to proceedings.